we're going to get into talking about the July budget, but first let me tell you, always listen to your mind and listen to your body. If you do not, your body will betray you. So what I mean by that is I have been like in motion from June 1st all the way into June 25th. And honestly, mentally and physically wasn't going to stop, but I needed to. I hadn't had time for myself, which I was supposed to, but I didn't. And I was going to get out and do some deliveries on Saturday, June 26th after I went to the grocery store. But when I woke up, I had a numbing pain. I still went to the grocery store and the pain was gradually getting worse, to the point where by the time I got home and unloaded everything, it was at its peak. So I end up just crawling up on the couch and just laying there for X amount of hours. Finally, muddling my way up the stairs and taking a shower and then going to bed. But when I woke, like the pain was just, it was unbearable. So I just laid there and slept, laid there and slept. It was like an ongoing cycle for, you know, up until 4 p.m. And then I slithered out of bed, rinsed off, ran to Target to get some more medication, stronger, as well as get a heating pad, made my way back home, and proceeded to do what I did the day before on the couch. But this time I set myself up, making sure that the heating thing, because one thing I noticed about the heating pad that I purchased is if it's not in contact with your back, it's slight heat, but if you press against it, oh yeah, maybe it heats up. So I sat in a position where it was always pushed against my back so I can get that heating up, because it was a numbing back pain in a weird position. It wasn't in the lower back, it wasn't in the top, it was in the middle. And so as I was sitting up waiting for some kind of relief, I researched urgent care chiropractors because somebody had to give me some relief. Um, Massage therapist, somebody help me. So all in all, because I didn't listen to my body forced me to listen to it. And finally, I was able to gain some relief when I awoke on Monday morning. When I stretched and heard that pop, I knew my body was there. Though I'm still, I would say, lethargic, like I'm having a hard time staying awake. But I think that's contributed to also another change is that I am weaning myself off a current medication. Me and my doctor in the month of June, when I seen him, we decided that I needed to come off this medication because it was causing weight gain. Yeah, so um, though I was working on losing weight, so I would bring my winter body in summer, wasn't successful. Like I was losing it, but I was gaining it, losing it and gaining it, and it was just a yo-yo effect. And I should have stopped the medicine early on, but the results from it, from the condition that I'm taking it for, it's phenomenal. So, who wants to go back in pain? Well, my doctor said I have to go back in pain because the chart says I'm obese again, and he's just not having it. Okay, so and I'm not having it either because who likes to spend close to almost $1,000 of wardrobe like in the last minute? I surely didn't want to, but I had to if I wanted to go on this trip. So I say all that is, you know, listen to your body, everybody. Please do. Though I am resting, I'm still gearing up because I will be a caregiver, partial caregiver, because it's some things they'll be able to do on their own, but I just want to be in their presence as they go through this because they have been going through surgeries, X amount of surgeries for years now, and they just don't have the best support. And so I just wanted to ensure that my loved one knew someone was there for them. Now that's all the way. If you have skipped to this point, then you now will hear what's happening in July. So July is actually a magic month, but I will only be dedicating two of my main source of income paychecks to my budget. I will be applying the July stipend to my July budget versus June. The checking buffer of $100 that I discussed before. The savings, I'm pulling 70 from savings because I do need to get an oil change because my car will be in motion and I want to make sure it's in good standing when I'm traveling again. On side income, none was actually made, so it's zero. And Papa did send his portion of his contributions to the auto insurance as well as his phone. So $3,640.81 is what I'm working with. There is going to be two income breakdowns, one from July 2nd to July 15th, and the other one from July 16th to July 29th. Now, what I decided to do is I wanted to stay on task with paying my car note every 28 days. In order to do that, I have to pay it when I'm paying my rent, which I don't like to do because those two are the highest expenses I have in for my house. So and I like to make sure they're separate. But I want to stay on task. I'm going to pay my rent, car, electric, and water when I do my first income breakdown when I um, receive a paycheck on July 2nd. Now, what will happen is the streaming life insurance, storage, cable, and phone bill, which typically would be taken out the first income breakdown, is just going to be applied to my credit card like it always is. And then in the second income breakdown, when I receive that second paycheck, that's when the money would actually be moved to my credit card checking account. I primarily do not like to do things like that because I like to not spend on the credit card prior to. But even if it's a small amount. It's not like I'm putting thousands of dollars on my credit card. These are small amounts and they fall into the second income breakdown. So like I said that I feel comfortable with what I'm doing in order to stay on task. Then in the second breakdown, I'll pay the insurance, OnStar. Oh, going back, we can see that electric is 115. That was the new amount. I don't have anything from credit card number one because I zeroed out the charges for June before July. So there's no charge there. Water did decrease back to 63. Now in the second income breakdown will be the insurance, of course, OnStar, insurance auto, and insurance renters. I'm going to pay that off and it's going to be $96.68. And I did pick up a second credit card. So that was part of the mental stability spending that I did. Was usually I'm good with store credit cards by saying no, but thank you. But I just wasn't in the right headspace, and it was like, yeah, we can try. But I didn't have any confidence that it would happen because of the status I'm in. But it was approved, and it was just $86.11 for about four items, and so yeah, we got to pay that off. Now, what's funny about this is this store credit card is a store I don't frequent, and to be quite honest, I don't know if it's multiple people that does their displays and window displays, but I window shop, and if your display don't look good, I'm not coming in. And 8 times out of 10, their display is not good. I go by this store at least 3 to 4 times a week and never go into it. Probably once or twice a month, and that's because the way the displays look. So we have no fear that this probably won't show up again, okay, until a wardrobe change. And I'll go in and see what they have and what I can take advantage of, but it will always be planned prior to. So no worries, don't get scared. So for discretionary income for envelope system, income breakdown number 1 and 2, the only categories is going to be funded for income breakdown. One is gas, groceries, household, and personal. Gas is a little bit more, well, it's less because I believe I started doing 100, but it's right now I'm putting it at 75 because again, I'll be caring for someone, so I won't be doing my extra driving, but I do have to drive to get to the place, so I want to make sure I have a little buffer there. Groceries, I don't foresee myself overspending into that because um, she does a meal plan, what she meal delivery service, and I just picked a few items from there, and then I'll just pick up a few items to eat around the house. Household, I wasn't going to fund it the first income breakdown, but I've remember when I got home that I didn't have that many garbage bags because when my dad was here, my son, he told me that he wasn't allowing for the garbage to get full, the bag to be full before he took out the trash. So my dad was taking out the trash probably like 3 or 4 times a day for the 5 days he was here. And it was irking my son's nerves so much he came and whispered to me, Granddad's not letting the garbage get full. So I do need to pick up some household items there, and I do need to pick up another replacement item for the household. So I just wanted to go ahead and do that prior to, departing again. I lump fund money in restaurants into personal because it's nothing personal I need to do other than I do need to get my feet redone. So besides that, if we do decide to eat out, I just pull it out of my personal and or I don't foresee us needing to do nothing fun because the person's supposed to be in the house, but let's see how that goes. And then for the income breakdown number two, Papa returns. So I need to, really put food in the house. I do have a small amount going to gas, but I probably need to up that a little bit more. We'll see when we get paid because by this time I should start back doing my side income or my side gigs and so on and so forth. I do need to start beefing back up my sinking funds. I did decide that I will be consolidating and eliminating some and not be sharing it going forward. So what will happen is that you won't be seeing what's in the sinking funds. You'll know what I be sending to it, but not the total. I probably will be moving that towards the quarter versus a weekly thing, unless I spend from it. So car maintenance, we need to get that back together. There's no gifts I need to buy in July. I'm not contributing to health from my budget because I still have X amount of dollars in my flexible spending account, and I still have receipts I need to submit to get reimbursed anyway. Miscellaneous is depleted at this current time, and I'm not going to put anything towards it. I want to be consistent with sending money to Papa, though we're on at the last stretch of actually finalizing his tuition, finalizing payments that's possibly due out of pocket. I want to be consistent with sending something to this fund, but not keeping an account or keeping a record to show to anyone down the line. I do need to beef up property. We got property taxes in July. Grass need to be cut. Unfortunately, for myself, they've been going through a rainfall situation and it's supposed to last for 10 days. So it kind of gave me a leeway to not be able to send in the month of June. But I do need to beef it up so I can pay the taxes and pay the remaining amount that's due for cutting the grass, maintaining the property basically. Any other categories will not be funded. Given, of course, each time I get paid, I put a portion towards giving. Buffer $100. The oil change stated it could be less because usually I find discounts such as military discounts and coupons that bring everything down. And then the end with $98.38 was left. So I want to throw that to savings. So what's important is this column, which make sure that it's zero. Don't mind this. This is a spreadsheet that I use on a each month, and it calculates for me so I can kind of compare. So that's what it's doing now, but as you can see, there's no actual here, no actual here. So it's going to look as if um it's going to be misconstrued basically. So it's important that this column, the budget amount before the beginning of the month, is zero, because that means every dollar is accounted for. All right, so we're going to go over here and going to talk about the financial forecast. So what happened in second quarter? For April, I wanted to pay off my 401k loan SBL2 of a balance of $1,226.82. And I'm happy to say that I was able to do that. Send 160 towards my trip. I was able to do that. Savannah needed an inspection and oil change. We went ahead and did that. And as you know, she went to haywire after that. But luckily we had that warranty, so we didn't have to come that much out of pocket. I was able to bring in $1,000 in from my side income, and I'll show that. The car was not detailed. This was going to be for Papa's prom, but the time didn't allow for it. So what ended up happening is I tabled that. I didn't know if I was going to do it in May and June, so I did throw that to June. I needed to purchase items for the home to make individuals comfortable at my home. I went ahead and did that. I did put $340 towards my trip. I did pay Savannah's registration and property tax, and it was to include a new license plate, which I didn't know every 7 years they say that you need a new license plate, but the state ran out, so I guess another 7 years being who I am right now. Bring in 1,000 plus in from side income, and we'll check that, but I'm sure we did that as well. I did not add $300 to my property sinking fund. Graduation plans went off. I was able to do what I set out to do as well as what Papa said he wanted to do. I did put $340 towards the trip, so I'm going to enter here the amount, how everything was broken down, so you can kind of see um, where I was at. Birthday plan. I didn't have a birthday plan, but the birthday plan was more so for what I was doing for my sister and um, the trip. So that was that. I ended up paying BJ's in May, not in June. Funny story is that I forgot to switch over the cards for BJ's too. Lucky they were able to find me. No, because Papa kept his car, because they sent a car for Papa too. So now I did set up a appointment for a car detail, but it rained that day and it was mobile. It's a mobile car detail and they weren't able to come out, so I tabled that. But I do need to contact them soon because the girl dropped coffee in her car. Clumsy me. Like I told y'all, to be so close to the ground, I have no clue why I am so clumsy. So overall second quarter, I was able to accomplish, I would say 95% of what I needed to accomplish. The other things were not pertinent, which the car detail is not pertinent. I can clean my own car, but it was pertinent for me to beef up my property sinking fund, so I didn't have to think about it past May, but that didn't happen. So that was a failure on my part. Third quarter outlook. I need to restart my 401k contributions, but first I do need to call the accountant so we can go over actually um, what I need to contribute to make sure I don't owe those suckers next year in taxes. Papa does have a registry, and we were able to, and a few people, a person was able to purchase from off of the registry prior to me making it live, which was great. Others just sent money, and so I told Papa when he returned, we're going to focus on ordering that stuff, getting into the house so we actually know what we have, and also what type of vehicle I would need going forward to help transport that. We need to finalize the school payments. He has his orientation in July. He's also going to register, And so then we'll know if there's any left balance. But I'm feeling pretty good that there's no balance, because with the scholarships, the grants, and the cost of tuition, I think we're good to go with that, but we will see. Now, it says put 500 towards the emergency fund, and if you see in July budget, where did you see the $500? But things happen, and we're gonna just take it, take it as it comes. So for August, I will have to travel to drop Papa off to school, and that includes getting a moving vehicle and staying overnight. So I need to plan for that when it comes up. I should plan Papa's 18th birthday, but he's really hasn't said what he wanted to do. And so since he's on the fence with that, I'm deciding for myself that it's not going to be something expensive, because right around the corner we're taking him away um, to college. But I'll figure out something. Put 500 plus towards emergency fund and bring 1,000 plus in from side income. I'll be back into the thick of doing that, so I'm sure I'll be able to meet that. Put 500 plus towards emergency fund in September, bring 1,000 plus in from side income, and update recording space. So I want to move where I actually record everything with the equipment that I have, but I do need to purchase a couple items that will make it better for me to do that. So this is my quarter 3 outlook. And I still have room and space to be able to add. I primarily do not like to add more than 5 things each each month. So I still have room to add things if necessary as they come up. All right, y'all. So now I have cranked out 2 videos for you, and I'm not sure when I'm going to return because as stated, I have to go into caregiver mode, and basically I'm going to need some time for myself. So I'm going to find time for myself. I am. So this is where we're at this present time. I don't know the time, day of my return, but when I do, you will know. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I would love for you to join my village. To all my returning subscribers, thank you. Everyone hit that like button. Please share this with your family, your friends, and your coworkers. Peace out.